So we are live and on the set. What's going on, Pradeep? What's shaking, my man?
Hey, Henry. How's it going, man?
Doing awesome, bro.
Looks like both of us had an interesting day.
We did, man. We did. Let me all right, so I got everything set up here. We are going to be doing, Pradeep and I decided that we're going to be doing a weekly Facebook Live show. I've done this before with some other colleagues in the industry, and it's a lot of fun, and it really gets a chance for, you know, people out there looking to build their brands on Instagram, or I said on Facebook, you know, some guidance, some structure. Some things to look forward to, some things that maybe you're not aware of that you should be aware of. And so Pradeep and I are going to create this show specifically for the small business owner, the personal brand that is looking to take their brands to the next level in 2018. So while I do some stuff behind the scene, Pradeep, why don't we give the audience a quick background on you? And kind of share your experience for those of you that don't know who you are, and what your backstory is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love sharing my story. So, born and raised in Kelowna, British Columbia. If you haven't been there, you have to go. It's one of the most beautiful places in Canada. So I was raised on an orchard, so I'm pretty much a farm/orchard boy at heart, and was always good in school. And you know, that's one thing that my parents always pushed me towards, was they wanted me to do something more than what they ended up doing, which was working on an orchard. And they have their own orchard now, and they're successful business owners. But when they first came, they were immigrants working for minimum wage. So they didn't want that for my brother and myself. So let's just say they grinded us to do well in school. So did well in school, went into the corporate world for 14, 15 years. Kicked butt there, but just wasn't for me. And we talked about this before, you know, when your passion calls, you just got to follow it. And one day I literally, and people laugh because you know, when they hear my story, they're kind of like, what? I had this mindset of being a business owner since I was a kid, and something just triggered it. And the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge was a Tony Robbins event. And if you've ever been to one or heard him talk, if anything's going to kick you over the edge, it's him. And from there, it was just history. I have my own business helping entrepreneurs, specifically helping them create superfans. So raving superfans, it's a hot topic right now, and everybody's talking about client loyalty. How do you get new clients? Because it's all about the experience that you provide them. And with things changing so rapidly, the whole business landscape has changed astronomically, where what you're doing today isn't going to work for you a year from now.
Yeah.
So that's what I help business owners do. I help them stay up to date. I help them convert specifically their employees and their clients into raving superfans. And anybody that obviously runs a business or is thinking about having a business, that's something you need to have, is you need to have raving fan clients. In order to do that, you need to have raving fan employees. Yeah. So that's basically what I do. And I've been blessed, knock on wood. I've worked with some of the top business owners in their industry, and it's been great. I absolutely love it. I wake up, I have a passion for helping my clients, and that's why, you know, we're working together on some of the projects that we are, because we see the synergies between brand and creating superfans. They both go together and they feed off each other. Yeah, and the businesses that do that, the entrepreneurs that understand that, are the ones that are going to stand out. So here we are having this call, hoping that we can provide you as entrepreneurs the best value we can.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you stepping up and taking on this opportunity. You know, not a lot of people are comfortable with the camera. Not a lot of people are comfortable getting out there and putting themselves out there and you know, presenting their story, presenting their products or services in this way. And I have to tell you, you know, without video, God gave me the gift of gab. And so I have to, so I have to take that and run with it and do the best I can with it to help other people. And so we're going to sort of take this show and every week, give you at least one takeaway to help you implement this inside of your business, to help you take your brand to the next level and help you get more customers, help you get more raving fans, not only on the outside walls of your business, but on the inside walls of your business, because it's just as important. So Pradeep has his expertise inside the business, and I have my expertise outside the business. And so coming together, I think it's a great 1-2 punch for you guys to get the knowledge that you need. So today we're talking about building your brand on Facebook for 2018. And some of you guys may or may not know, but Facebook's about to lay down another slapdown, if they haven't already, in regards to their algorithm and how your information and content is going to be seen by your fans, your friends. And we're going to talk about ways to sort of work with it, not work over it or against it, but work with it to help you grow your business. So Pradeep, are you familiar with the new algorithm change and what's actually going down?
Yeah, well, I know a little bit about it. You're the expert in that area, so I'm gonna lead that with you. But I do know that for the average person that is on Facebook, the average business owner that's trying to get the word out there, that's who it's gonna impact the most, because they're trying to bring it back into that social community. And not that I blame them. In all honesty, I was getting sick of seeing all those sponsored ads myself. A lot of them didn't apply, so I think there's some validity in what they're doing, but I also think there's a little part of a cash grab there as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And we'll see how it all pans out, and Facebook's good at on the fly change, and so we're going to see a big shift. If it's not working, we're going to see a big shift real quick, and we'll see how it goes from there. But for those of you guys that may not know what's going on with Facebook, but Zuckerberg made a big statement the other day about how Facebook needs to get back to the basics and the foundational stuff that they started Facebook out in the first place to represent, and that was to connect people with people. When Zucks made Facebook, he just wanted to connect with other people at Harvard. You know what I mean? And so that's what it was intended for. And
actually, I'm just gonna jump in there for a sec. Do you really think that that's why he created it?
Listen, Zuck seems like a pretty down-to-earth dude to me, so I don't know. Like,
I got my theories on that one. The guy's a smart guy. He's got the largest, basically, marketing agency or channel in the entire world next to YouTube.
Yeah,
I don't think that was by chance. And I don't think it was all about connecting. Personally, that's just my thought.
There you go. Hey, listen, I think it's a great tool. It's not a livered, like, I wouldn't base my business off of Facebook. I think Facebook is a great way to influence people and get your message out there and connect with people. Listen, whether or not Zucks meant it intentionally or not, we'll never know. But what's going down in the weeks to come is simply this. A lot of your content is not going to be seen by a lot of people if the engagement is not there, meaning if people aren't liking, sharing, commenting on your content, on your posts, on your videos, Facebook is taking a mental note, and it will affect your reach. It'll affect who sees your content. And so if you're putting out bull crap, right, nobody's going to see it. And it's also going to affect your paid advertising. So from what I understood, even if you do paid advertising on Facebook, and there's no engagement on that post, Facebook will limit the impressions that post gets, and
that's crazy.
who sees that post. And so that to me tells me that Facebook, they're making a statement. They want people engaging with each other on this platform. And what's the best way to build brand on any social media platform is to connect and engage and have it be a two-way communication versus a one-way communication, like just give me your email address or buy my ebook or gimme, versus, hey, let's have a topic of conversation today about building your brand on Facebook in 2018. Like, and have Paul Sabaj say good content and good design speak for themselves. And he says it was 4 years to overnight success for Zuck. You know, when you start to communicate with people that are watching the show, like Sajed and Matt Holly and the John Johnson and LaToya Blunt and Hatel Patel, you know, we want to bring you guys into the conversation today. We just don't want to talk at you, right, Paul Booth? Paul Booth is a branding guy, so he knows and understands. He just joined the show. You know, he knows what branding's all about. And so we want you guys to come in and share your opinions, share your comments and your thoughts, because, you know, Pradeep and I, that's the whole point of this show. It's to share our expertise, but to have you guys come in and chat with us. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Him and I are busy enough guys. We can find other things to do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are, building your brand on Facebook in 2018. What is going to have to happen for people to actually be able to leverage it and be able to actually connect with their audience or build their audience with it? So what do you think?
Oh, for me, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I can tell you, this whole Facebook thing, I'm one of the people that, I think it was 4 years ago, I actually boycotted Facebook because I was so tired of just being inundated with stuff. But I realized the value of it, and now I'm back into it, but it's from a different perspective. I really just want to add value, and I want to get feedback, because the more feedback I get as a business owner, the better products or services I can deliver. And that helps me with my mission, which is basically to help as many business owners as I can. So for me, I really am watching my content, and I watch it on a daily basis, and I really want to get feedback from individuals that are getting value. And if it's not adding value, I wish there was an X button there, like a dislike button, because I want people to tell me, hey, look, your stuff is crap.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And I want to share with some of the people that are just coming in, like Mark Kaczynski and Tommy Sinke and Gino Abrams. One of the scarier things that I've decided to do more of in 2018 is watch myself.
Yeah.
Watch myself more and put myself through that. I know a lot of people have a hard time either listening to themselves or watching themselves, and I can't stress it more. You have to do this. If you really want to tighten up your messaging, if you really want to tighten up your presence on social media, if you really want to use Facebook to build your business in 2018, you got to start doing some self-critique. Yeah. You got to start engaging with your audience. Ask people. I mean, I asked a crazy question a couple of weeks ago. What do you think of me? What do you think of me? And I was so nervous to ask that question, but I got a lot of great feedback. Some good, some bad. I shouldn't say bad, but some that I didn't see, right? And so taking a look at what you're actually putting out there, I think what Pradeep is saying is, I want some validation. Is my content valuable to you? Are you able to use it and do something good with it? Is it helping you? Is it not helping you? Please let me know.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Because the last thing I want to do is inundate you, because that's why I left Facebook in the first place. So that feedback loop is absolutely important, and I think we both know that. We're both trying to add value as much as we can, and I think that's the other thing. If you're going out there to sell, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And if you're not engaging, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you're not engaging.
Well, if you're not engaging your audience and you truly don't care about them, people pick up on that pretty quick.
Exactly. And it was funny. One of my friends who does a lot of Facebook Live work, and he has an audience that follows him religiously. He's got a pretty big audience too. He said one of the first things you got to stop doing is selling on Facebook. Like, yeah. I was in this, I did a couple weeks in a row where I did some video and then I pitched at the end. Pitch. And people were like, dude, it's tiring. It's tiring. So I said, you know what? I just got to go out there, put my personality out there, share my experiences every day. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. But from what I'm getting back as far as feedback, it's very helpful. I had somebody say to me yesterday that my insight on branding is noteworthy. And I was like, well, that was a very nice piece of feedback. It makes me feel good about myself. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, people are hearing me. People are taking notes. And I think that's super, super important. Paul Sabaj says the new market seems to be the servant leader entrepreneur. And I think he's spot on with that. What are your thoughts on that comment from Paul Sabaj?
Oh, I think he's right on. I don't even know if it's new. I think that's been around for a long time. I think it's just more prevalent and it's a must now. Rather than it being a nice to have before, people want you as a service provider to have their best interests at heart. And I think we just have that as human nature. So it's just more transparent now. So transparency. So I want to make sure that I keep these nuggets that we're giving our audience today in a tight little package. So first we said, do some self critique and look at yourself and evaluate the type of branding that you're putting out there, the messaging that you're putting out there. Second is it's a must now to become that servant leader and have that transparency in your branding, because social media could either take you to high levels or it could bury you if you don't maintain that brand reputation that you truly want people to get, right? Yeah, absolutely. The social media, and we talked about this the other day, especially with social media. Before, if a person was unhappy with your brand or the experience that you provided, they would tell 10 people. With social media now, that's actually doubled. It's up to 20 people now. And those stats just changed over the last couple of years. So imagine what it's going to be like in a year from now or 2 years from now. That number is going to triple.
I know. You know, I got a funny story. You want to talk about how quickly bad information or bad press flies. You know who Tom Colicchio is?
No.
So he was one of the top chef judges. He owns a dozen restaurants. I mean, more than a dozen restaurants all over the planet. So Tom Colicchio opened up this awesome restaurant on the east side of Manhattan. Brand new spot. It was about 5-6 years ago. And my wife, my cousin, his wife, we all go to Tom Colicchio's restaurant. The place was gorgeous. And his restaurants aren't cheap. Like, it's a legit spot, right? You're not going there every day to eat. Let's just, unless you're like a billionaire. So we get there and we're having a good time at the bar. We go to sit down. It took about 20 minutes for somebody to acknowledge us after we sat. Nobody asked us if we wanted another drink. So now the blood's boiling in my wife, right? So she goes on Twitter and she just puts out there a tweet. I forget exactly what it is. Well, who freaking responds? Tom Colicchio himself.
Oh, wow.
On Twitter. So the food comes out. So he doesn't respond yet. So we get our meal, and the food was good. We get our meal, and the manager now comes over, not the waiter. The manager comes over and says, "How's everything doing?" And we were like, "Good, fine." We ate. And he said, "Are you sure?" And we looked at him kind of weird, like, "What do you mean, sure?" "Yeah." He says, "Well, that's not what Tom Colicchio said." He said, "I just got a call from Tom, and he saw your tweet, and he said that you were a little upset about the service, and so we want to make this right." Dude, we like put our forks down. We were like, oh my God. And so we said, well, not for nothing. We sat down. It took 20 minutes to get, somebody to come over and ask us if we needed anything. So, but other than that, like, the food's really good. Like, so we are enjoying ourselves. He says, "Okay, no problem. All right, I just want to make sure you're happy and that your experience is great." So finish up dinner. Oh my God, you don't even know what happened next. It was like the entire wait staff came over and presented us this over-the-top dessert. From bottles of champagne to these towered tiers of chocolates. And it was out of this world.
That's
and
awesome.
Tom made it right. And so my wife went back and she tweeted, "Tom, you did us, you did a solid here. You clearly care about your customers." And so ever since then, we talk about Tom, we talk about this story and how crazy it was. And that just goes to show how social media is a powerful tool. But anyway, not to go way off topic. Let's stay on topic with Facebook and building your brand on Facebook and bringing in some of the super fan knowledge that you have, Pradeep. So, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit today, and I'm going to ask you, what's one solid, tip or tool that our audience could use to start leveraging Facebook to help build up their raving fan base?
Yeah, a great question. I would say it's asking questions. The more questions you ask, the more feedback that you get in terms of being able to deliver value back. And that's something that I wish Facebook would actually do, is open those lines of communication so you can ask your client base questions and get that feedback back rather than just having it to put it in the feeds. There's got to be a better way. So if you can ask your clients specific questions in terms of what will be able to help them.
Now, not bullshit questions either, like in a GIF, tell me what your blank is.
Yeah. Like, hey, what was your, what's the most embarrassing moment that you had? No, I'm not looking for that. And you'll see a lot of those posts.
Yeah, Paul Sabaj says surveys. You could do polls now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a great tip, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, that is a great tip. More of those types of engaging communications would be awesome.
So again, what is the point of this? What is the point of gathering that information?
Oh, it's to add value. And I think at the end of the day, Henry, it's all about adding value. And we have to take a look at it. And this is where I got caught in the trap myself. When I first started using Facebook again, I was just looking at things from my own perspective. And then I had to look at it from the other people's perspective to say, hey, what do people want to hear from me? What is it that the average person or average business owner needs to know or should know? Rather than me just, regurgitating crap out to them, it was more about thinking about it from their perspective. And I think that's what we need to do more of when it comes to Facebook.
I love that. And I think to add to that is to find out exactly what they want, exactly what they need. And touch upon those pain points. Talk to them about it. A lot of my clients, when they come to me before they sign up for the Branding on Demand program or the Brand Accelerator program, they come to me and they say, Henry, if you Google me, I don't exist. right? So that to me tells me that there's a brand identity issue. There's a brand awareness issue. So, which leads me into like sort of our third tip of the day is if you're not getting out there on Facebook and engaging and interacting and creating more brand awareness to your business, then how else are you going to do it?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
else are you going to do it? Oh, so Paul has a very specific question. He says, how often and how many posts on Facebook should you do? And so I'll let you answer the question first, and then I'll put in my 2 cents.
Well, I think it comes back to how much do you want to share in a day? And the key there is to not overwhelm. And I think that's what's happening right now is people are just bombarding Facebook with every little thing that they have. So take a look at it. I would personally say 1 or 2 times a day at the max. Maybe 3 if you really have something to share. But I think it's really taking a look at, okay, what's your strategy? So something I do is first thing in the morning, and this is just a habit that I have, is I wake up in the morning with all of these thoughts. And it basically comes from the previous day in dealing with my clients. What were some of their challenges? And in the morning, I come up with all these solutions or all these thoughts that I think, hey, look, maybe the other business owners can benefit from this. So that's what I post in the morning. And then later on throughout the day, if something comes up that I think I need to share of value, I will post that as well. Maybe it's something funny to lighten up someone's day. Before we went on this call, you and I both had some interesting conversations in the morning. Yeah. That kind of threw us off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Seeing something funny definitely lightens the mood and gets you back up. So to answer that question, I would say 2 times, maybe 3 times at the max for myself, because you don't want to be the reason why Facebook is stopping these feeds.
Amen. I think that's super, super important. And from what I've studied in the past, people say 2 to 3 times max is sort of the standard, whether you got something to say or not. 2 to 3 times a day is definitely a safe zone. The other part, there's a couple questions coming in here.
Awesome.
Paul Garaleo. We'll get to your question in a second, pal. Paul also said, what are our thoughts about themed days on Facebook? And I'm a huge proponent of that. I coach my clients on this a lot. Theme weeks, theme days, have something from Monday to Friday so that people can actually end the week off more empowered than they started it, and keeping a focus on a specific topic is key. This week for Unique Designz, we're talking about brand reputation, how to manage it, how to create it. And so this live does fall in line with that topic of conversation. So that is a huge strategy that I would, because my man Pradeep here is a huge strategy guy. And that is a beautiful strategy to use on any social media platform, not just Facebook, but think it through. What do you want to talk about this week? Theme it out and then go all in. Go all in on that topic. So Paul Garlow says, how do we prepare for the major changes in Facebook that brands and businesses will be less seen on news feeds and person-to-person engagements conversation with will have high rankings? This is the topic of conversation. This is what we're doing. So
good question.
Paul, you're probably just popping in now, so we'll recap and we'll do this throughout the show. We got about another 20 minutes or so, but basically what we want to do is we want to look at the content that we're putting out and evaluate it. Is it valuable? Is it creating the engagement that you need it to create? So is it share worthy is a question that I would ask you to ask yourself before you post something. Is it in line with the trends of the typical posts? I'll give you a quick example. I could share with you an example on Instagram, for example. So Instagram, the meme accounts are so powerful right now and are just getting shared and going viral by the day. And so what I did was I was like, how is this meme getting a gazillion views and likes and comments? I said, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm going to find a meme software or an app, and I'm going to start doing memes on my page and see if it increases my reach. Sure as shit. I start putting my videos in the meme sort of template. 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 views on my stuff. I go, aha. Instagram sees that the meme templates are going viral. So why don't I try it? And bam. So getting native with the current trends of social media. So right now, GIFs are huge. GIFs, GIFs are huge. People, that's why you see people going, respond in a GIF what your favorite dessert is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like it's so silly, but GIFs are huge. So maybe you start using GIFs as responses. So you put out a post, somebody writes you back, maybe you respond in a GIF, and now that lights up somebody's day, makes them laugh, right? And now you have an engagement. Now you have a communication going.
I'm just going to add something to that, Henry. I think the other thing is take a look at diversifying. And I know a lot of people right now that are not jumping ship from Facebook, but they're taking a look at other platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, for example. So people are looking for other options. It's not the same as it was 6 months ago. I don't know. And the people have been talking about Facebook algorithms forever in terms of how they're funny. You just can't get a grasp on it. So I think a smart business owner, an intelligent decision there would be to take a look at other opportunities as well in terms of being able to get an audience and engage them.
Listen, it goes back to not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically what you're saying. And I use Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and now I got back on my Twitter game, and Twitter's more of a casual thing for me. I know that it has a great reach. So it's noisy, but it has a great reach. So I like to go out there, throw a couple hashtags down on a funny tweet, and watch the comments and retweets and stuff come back. And that's how I'm building my audience over there. And listen, I'm looking long game. I don't care what platform you're on. You got to look long game, and you got to take the time to build a relationship. So Paul Sebastian, what does a GIF stand for? Any thoughts on Yahoo? Dead or making traction? Well, first and foremost, let's look up what a GIF is.
Yeah, what's the?
So basically, GIF. I know this as a designer. It's graphics interchange format. It's a file. It's a file format. So it's a bitmap image format. So that's where you get the GIF from. And it's typically a motion-driven image. So that's what a GIF is, Paul. the techie, unsexy version of what a GIF is, but or what it stands for. And as far as Yahoo goes, I mean, listen, are people saying, let me go Yahoo that and get back to you? So that's what I think about. That's what I think about Yahoo.
Yeah, and I've studied Yahoo a little bit over the last few weeks. They died a long time ago. They're like one of those scenes in an old school movie where they got shot 20 times and they're still kicking around, right? That's Yahoo right now.
That's pretty much it. I don't even see people with Yahoo email addresses anymore. It's Gmails. I mean, that seems to be it. I mean, Gmails. Just Google has taken over the world, and it is what it is. So you're either on that ship or you're not. But getting back to building your brand on Facebook, and again, it all comes back down to, I think, just inclusion. It's another word for engaging. It's another word of dialogue, but including your audience. Like my Brand Doctors Hangout Facebook group, right? Simple little thing I started to do, right? So now I'm starting to get a little bit momentum with the group. And for those of you that are watching that aren't in that group yet, go to Facebook right now. Go in search, go Brand Doctors Hangout, and then come back to the show and ask to join the group. So every time somebody asks to join the group, I got to go in there and approve them, because I kind of do a quick little screen, make sure that they're cool, make sure that they're legit, and then I let them in. Before, I would just let them in and just let them roll around by themselves. But now when I let them in, I say, let's everyone give a warm welcome to Lindsay Hunter. And then all my group members start to come in on that post. Hey, Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Hey, Lindsay, great business that you have. Welcome to the family, right? Man, I have just seen a huge spike in engagement inside of that group just by including the other members and getting them involved in the posts.
Hey, great point, Henry. I got a question for you then.
Please.
So you and I both have Facebook pages. You have a group. I don't. That's something I've been thinking about doing for a while now. Do you think the days, based on Mark's comments, do you think the future is in Facebook groups rather than pages?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying that because the pages are specifically used to. Oh, Paul Sabaj says the brand doctors hangout is awesome. Lots using groups to gather emails. Thoughts on that? We'll get to that in a second, Paul. But yeah, I definitely see a shift going towards the group. Why? Because it falls in line with Facebook's, whether you believe them or not, foundational values. It's the connection of people, and group brings those Facebook groups bring connection. And some are extremely engaged. Some are, that's all you see is the admin posting every day. And every time I go into a group and that's all I see is the admin posting every day, I know that group's shit and I'm out, because clearly the guy or gal isn't doing something right to include the members of the group to get involved. And it's just like, let's take it back to high school, middle school, college. What was some of our greatest professors that we had or teachers that we had? It was the ones that got us involved. It was the ones that got us up in front of the class and made us do X, Y, Z. It was the ones that truly cared about us and wanted us to grow and be something of ourselves, right? What classes and professors did we absolutely hate? The ones with the monotone voice. It reminds me of the guy from the Dry Eyes commercial, or for the eye saline for dry red eyes. Like, that professor killed me. I was sleeping in class after 20 minutes. So it's the same thing on Instagram or Facebook, guys. If you're just out there and you're just shouting at people, what do you think the response is going to be?
So that's a good point. So, are you suggesting that one of the strategies would be to, move away from Facebook pages and shift over to Facebook groups or Facebook groups?
I'll give you a tactical strategy that I'm doing right now. And awesome. Like I said, you either do it or you don't, So I reached my 5,000 friend limit on Facebook. So I can't accept any more friend requests. I have to deny the request. But I before I deny the request, I messaged that person. I literally messaged that person and I say, hey, Jesse, I see that you friend requested me. However, I'm over my friend limit. If you want to connect, here's a link to my Facebook group. And I just send them that private message, and then I hit them with a little thumbs up just so it gets past the spam filter, right? And I can tell you right now, about 90% of the people that get that message ask to join the group, and now we're connected inside of the group. Then I take it a step further and I say, hey, Cody, thanks for joining the group. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your business? And then they respond. Awesome. That's the way I handle the Facebook group. So it's a win-win situation, because listen, guys, I don't have the time to go into my friends list and look at all the people that I may or may not know and unfriend them. Like, I just don't have the time for that. So to give up, to free up the space for new friends, I'm just going to do this from now on and just say, hey, this is it. Here's my group. You want to come in and hang out? Come in and hang out. So Paul's got a couple questions here. Paul, I thank you so much for being the top contributor today. And I encourage other folks that are watching this and are going to watch this on future episodes. We're going to do this every week. I don't know exactly the day yet, but we'll definitely keep you posted on that as this evolves. Clearly, you guys are loving it, so we're going to keep doing it. But he says, when somebody friend requests you and you're at your friend max, you know, can that message be a bot like ManyChat or a bot system?
Can I answer that one?
Go ahead.
Okay. So it's all about being real. And I love this. And the bots, although they're good, they're killing me too. If you really want to connect with your community, if you want to connect with people, sometimes you got to do it an old school way and actually communicate with them directly. I know personally, whenever I get one of those bots, even though it says, hey, and that it's so-and-so, it's that person's name, I know it's not the person, it's the bot. So if you really want to create an engaged audience, here's my recommendation. Don't use a bot. Go in there and actually respond to that person personally.
Pradeep, I happen to agree with you. I've been anti-bot for a long time. When I went to the Traffic and Conversion Summit last year, that's all they talked about. It was the big topic of conversation. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. And so, yeah, Paul even says he hates the bots.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's one of the biggest tips I give my clients. Whatever technology that you use, technology is awesome. Just make it real.
There you go.
Just make it real.
There you go. I mean, listen, I'm going off the cuff here, but if you want to use the bot, say, hey, I'm super busy. That's why I bought this bot service. And you know what? Hold on. I'm getting, I have to ignore this real quick because I keep getting this, so long story short, you know, hey, this is a bot service. I'm super busy and, you know, just want to let you know that my inbox is full, you know, come over here to the group or whatever. Listen, if you do it that way, great. You know what I mean? And just keep it real. Just keep it real. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, the bots are huge now. They're massive. But you know who's going to win out at the end of the day when it comes to Facebook? It's going to be the people that have that human connection. It's going to be the people that have those Facebook groups. It's going to be the people that are actually actively in there engaging themselves and posting themselves and creating the community.
That's it. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And if you're not keeping it real, people are going to call you out.
Or worse yet, they may not call you out. They may just leave.
That too. What's worse, Pradeep? What's worse?
Oh, you know what I think is worse? I'll tell you. It's people leaving and not calling you on your crap. Because if they don't call you, you don't know what the feedback is. If they just leave, you're blind. And you don't know what your blind spots are. And so you keep going down that path that you're going down without any feedback. And that's a most important thing. I think when it comes to your brand as well, use the same philosophy. And the same thing for me when I help clients create superfans is feedback. The voice of the client, the voice of the customer is the most important thing. And that's what keeps you in business. The more feedback you get, the more you can adjust.
That's it. And if you're not adjusting, what happens?
Yeah, you die. You end up like the classic case, Blockbuster.
Exactly. Here's a great message from Marek. He says bots are great for businesses like restaurants and hotels. I happen to agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, and even spas. Like there's a local spa here that I have a subscription to, and bots to remind me of my appointment. Fantastic. A bot to ask me how the service was. There's a link to a survey. Fantastic. So if you want to use bots in that fashion, I say go for it. But if you're going to use bots to pretend you're somebody that you're not, you're killing yourself. So I'm just being conscious of time. We have about 5 minutes. Paul's got another question. Thoughts on how to get people off Facebook and into your email or to like your YouTube, or that may be a talk for another day, he says. What are your thoughts on that?
Great question. And Henry, I think you're way better at it than I am. You're way further ahead in terms of steps. But I think just...
Go ahead.
It's just having those conversations to say, hey, look, I have a YouTube channel, check it out, and here's what it is. And that constant communication and that constant reminder is important. So the email channel, I think that's similar. You can probably talk about that a little bit better than I can.
Yeah. So my thought on that is simply this. If you go for the straight sell, then you're not going to get anywhere, because people are like, that's all this guy wants to do is sell me something. But 9 times out of 10, how I've monetized Facebook or gotten business, and a lot of my business does come from Facebook, just by coming into different groups and sharing value and doing those kinds of things. You know, the next step that typically happens is I get a private message. And the private message is, hey, loved your video today, love what you got going on. Can I get some more information about you? So I send them to my website. Or I say, well, yeah, absolutely. Real quick, what is your business? What do you got going on? And what are you struggling with, or whatever? And now the conversation starts, right? So it's typically an inbound approach from the person that saw me. We have a quick conversation online via Messenger, and then I prescribe him the next step, whether it's go buy this toolkit for $7, and based on your budget right now, from what I'm hearing, you may not be ready for anything else other than that. So go check out one of these toolkits. It's $8, and here's the link to that, right? Then they go in and they get on my email list. They buy the little thing and they consume it. And then 9 times out of 10, they come back and they order the next thing, and then the next thing. And then who knows, maybe 90 days from then, they become a Branding on Demand or a Brand Accelerator client. And so that's how you get somebody on an email. You know, it's just simply that it's typically an inbound approach for me, and you just respond back naturally, right? What's the next step? It's just like look at it as a human relationship. I wouldn't send them a link. I wouldn't even, like, if somebody PM'd me and said, you know, love that, blah, 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 you know, I wouldn't just go uniquedesignz.com or uniquedesignz.net and send them that. No, it's like, you have a quick convo, and then you get them to the next step.
Yeah, Henry, I think that's so important. If you take a look at how you build that relationship with clients and how you convert them into superfans eventually, what they always go back to is that very first interaction that they have with you. So if it's a personal interaction, they're more likely to remember it and say, hey, look, this guy took the time out to actually give me a one-on-one personal message versus an automatic email or whatever that is. And so you can bet that has a huge impression. And when we talk about business success long-term, it's all about client loyalty. And client loyalty goes back to how you make them feel. So if whatever you're doing is making your clients feel good and connecting with you on an emotional level, that's what you need to focus on, because that's what's going to get you success.
That's awesome. I'm going to leave it at that, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. So I just want to say thanks to Pradeep for coming on and being part of this show. It was his idea to really get something going like this. And I have to tell you, this has been a way better experience and sort of outcome than any of these shows that I've ever done before. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in, left some comments, asked some great questions. So with all this said, we will definitely be doing these on a weekly basis.
Yeah, you know what would be great? Whoever's listening or has listened in the past and comes back to this feed, give us some of your feedback in terms of some of the topics you would like us to cover. Because again, we're here to serve you. We just don't want to be blabbing. Tell us what's going to add value to your day next time we do this.
Bam. There you go, guys. There's your homework assignment.
Yeah, you got it. Do next week.
Yeah, until next week, guys, have an awesome day. Keep rocking. And Pradeep and I will catch you on the next show. Talk soon.